Hello guys, how are you all doing today? I'm doing pretty freaking fine as a matter of fact. I know you didn't ask, but I'm assuming you did. Now, yeah, I am wearing a Darth Vader holiday Christmas sweater, and you're probably like, oh, I wonder what that means. Yeah, it means we're getting into the Lego Christmas Advent calendar. So let's get right into that, alright? What's up, guys? Today we're going to be getting into the Lego Star Wars Advent Calendar. I actually got this on a pretty sweet deal. Got it for 20 bucks on clearance compared to the $45 of the regular price. I'd say what I got here was a steal. Yeah, let's just get into it and talk about what we got. Now that we've finished the build, let's go on and talk about the figures and the builds that we've got in the set. And what a way to kick off such a holiday set than with this little pit droid, who is definitely designed to look like a little Santa's little helper. And let me just say, he is definitely a highlight of this set. I'm going to have to give him about like 8 out of 10 studs here. He is definitely top notch on this set. And next up we have the Omega figure, or the Amiga! Look at me! With Chicken Rika and Hunter! Yeah. Highlight of this figure is there is arm printing, which you don't really see a whole lot with Lego Star Wars figures anymore, I swear. But something you may have noticed is that this Omega has a little cookie straight from Leia Organa. I'd have to give Omega here another 8 out of 10. Next up, we've got our 212th Clone Trooper, who's looking mighty okay, I guess. I know everyone dislikes the head holes, so I decided to fix that by adding some macro binoculars, because clearly he's supposed to be a specialist with that weapon he's got there. But I'd say overall the build here is quite enjoyable, and I give this figure and the build, this might sound crazy, but since I added the bit, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. You know. So the next build on the list is a Stab Speeder, otherwise known as a Stap Speeder. I just like to say it obnoxiously like that. But anyways, it's a fairly decent build, but I feel like I made a bit of an improvement on the build with this, not this next bit, but look at that droid booty. Also, this is just regular droid, but if you add your Kashyyyk droid on it, I think the colors match well. I think it looks better. But anyways, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 without the modification. Next figure in build on the list would next be the Ewok. I was really ecstatic to have an Ewok, because I have not had an Ewok figure since I was a wee little lad. Don't even get me started on the last time that I've had an Ewok, or I'll start crying. But this just made me really happy. I like the way it all comes together. I'd have to give this build like I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. Just very solid build all around. Next on the figure and build list, we got ourselves a nice Papa Palpy with a very nice ugly Christmas sweater with the Death Star on it. And he's also got a nice mug, and he's shooting out some Force Lightning, and he's got a nice little chair. I'd like to say that this build overall comes together very nice, and I like how they do the whole Christmas theme with this. And I'd have to say that overall, I'd have to give this build probably like 9 out of 10. Let me just say, I was very excited to get this figure out of the box, just because, yes, even growing up, I never had a Lego Leia. So this was pretty freaking sick. Although I will say her not coming with any builds or anything does kind of disappoint, but however, she does come with a very nice looking cookie, and your boy loves cookies. So I'm gonna have to give the build 9 out of 10. Next on the list of builds is our mini little Justifier here, otherwise known as Cad Bane's ship. I think it's a nice build, but, you know, even when I watched the Bad Batch series, I didn't really think it stood out all too much, but some people think it did. I wanted to mess around with it a bit, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Next on our set of builds is the Hailfire droid, which we see primarily in the episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and then we have our AAT tank, which is a CIS tank that was used by droids, and I like the builds. I think they come together very nicely. I'll give them an 8 out of 10 together, and 8 out of 10 separate. They both deserve an 8 out of 10. They're just good. Alright. And then we've got our Endor sets, as if we couldn't tell as if there was a theme going on already. So let's pick apart each and every one of these guys and get through them, alright? First up, we've got our micro build ATST, and it's looking alright, I guess. They're very hard to build in micro, but it's kind of nice, you know? I feel like you can do like some maybe walking animations with it. It moves along very nicely. It doesn't really fall apart. It does look a bit derpy from the front though. So I decided against a rating system because I think that just isn't fair. But I do want to talk about this. This is probably my second favorite build of the set. It just is so sleek and it comes together so nice and it's so fine. And how they got it so it's just it astounds me how they were able to get a speeder so tiny. I just wanna hold it forever. The next build is an Ewok village, which is I underwhelming, I guess. I guess if Lego were to just actually make an Ewok village, this wouldn't be as big of a problem, but they don't want to. I don't know why. I would like to see that as a set. I always have as a kid, and I've never once seen it on a shelf, ever. Next up, we've got our little micro build, Imperial Star Destroyer, and might I just say, I love this guy. Definitely third favorite build of this whole thing, because I love me a nice Imperial Star Destroyer. Also, it's my first Imperial Star Destroyer. It's kind of a neat concept when you think about it. Then next we've got our little base on Endor, and I mean it's a nice little build, but it's just like it's missing something. Oh wait, I think I found it. It would be the satellite from Endor, so they kind of come together. It's a nice little pairing. So yeah, when you put the two together, it's okay. I am by no means a Lego engineer, but there had to be a better way to get this guy done. He looks nice in flight mode. He looks very nice. However, once we get to landing, what the fuck is that? And that's not an Imperial shuttle. And you can't even sit it up when it's in flight mode either. Like you need a stand for it, and they don't provide that for you. It's kind of a bit of a pain, but overall, it's a solid build. The next build is the clone turbo tank, which I think looks very, very solid. Like, I mean, you can stick this guy pretty much anywhere where you can stick a brick. And, I mean, it's like brick sized, essentially. So, I mean, you don't have to, it doesn't take up much space, but, I mean, they're just cute little Christmas builds to give to your friends, I guess. And now it's time for the star of our show, the Gonk Droid. Yeah, I kind of decked him out a bit. So the reindeer Gonk Droid does not usually have that red nose. However, I switched it out because I like to have mine be special. So we got a little Rudolph guy. Of course, you can always switch it out, but you know that really doesn't work out so well because Rudolph gets the hose. And finally, my favorite build of the whole little advent calendar was definitely the N1 Starfighter because it's a nice build and it's just slick. The whole ship is slick and I can't wait to eventually get the bigger one so that I can do a review on that guy. And yeah, maybe that'll be a future episode. We'll see. I just would like to re-emphasize that I might be giving this a bit of a good review just because I got it for $20. Like, I don't think you guys understand. I got this for $25 off. That means I got it for less than 50% of its value than it usually was at. Like it's a godsend. I got it on clearance, but I will give this set an overall review of. I'll say it's a good set. You know, is it worth $45? No, this is not worth almost $50. Unless, pardon me, goodness gracious, unless you're specifically using it for, you know, giving gifts. You know, but even then, it's not worth $50. That's just insane. I would say you'd have a much better time just buying someone a whole Lego set. Because at that point, you're getting them multiple figures and a build. A micro build is not. I don't think that's a solid gift for somebody. No offense, but these are cute things to give your friends, I'd say.